we are sort of trying to commemorate the Day of the African Child. And they started with a seminar that was actually organized and sponsored by Plan Ghana, where we presented a paper on sociocultural practices affecting children. We identify a number of them, but we are moving a step further to look at the target groups, those who are actually affected by the sociocultural practices. We don't just want to be rhetoric, talking about issues, but be very, very practical. So that is why when we made a presentation on the issue of abduction, which is an issue Action-Aid Ghana is pursuing, because we see it as a violation of the rights of the child, girl child. So it is one of the agenda on Action-Aid and especially Upper West program, where we have set aside a target to ensure that by a certain year, the issue of abduction will be a thing of the past. We essentially, I started this process by forming a group we call the Community-Based Anti-Violence Team, COMBAT. And the COMBAT functions more or less like a security agency at the community level, but they are basically made up of community members who understand community issues and know who is a bad person, who is a good person, and some of the practices that violate the rights of the child. We expose them to what we call domestic laws, the Domestic Violence Act, the Children's Act, the Waste Act, the Marriage Law, the PNDC Law 1111, that's the interstate succession. All these are issues that happen within the community level that the chief uses his own discretion or traditional laws to settle. So we expose them to all these state laws.
I must say, at the headquarters, we hear this. Many times I've taken it as exaggeration. They are just exaggerating. This cannot be true. But listening to my beautiful angels here, I don't know. I don't know. Now I am feeling it. Then I asked myself, what is happening? Maybe every one of us here, present here, ask yourself, what happens when all our girls are taken away unlawfully like this? What happens? It's like we are giving out all our hen or our female cattle. A time will come, the males cannot bear us anymore. So a time will come, all our chicks will be finished. There will be no eggs. So we shan't have any more of them, isn't it? Same way, our girls are being taken away. Our gel, the gem, the precious jewels, they make our family. They make the family. Allow me, but even the men here, it is the woman who gave birth to you. They are your mothers, they are our daughters, our special gifts. And they are being taken away because of tradition. I'm not saying we shouldn't respect our tradition. We should. But as one said, some of them we need to revisit and change certain things. Supposing all you have are girls, and they're all taken away this way, you have nothing then. In future, the men will not find any more women to marry. Marriage is sacred. Marriage is a special gift from God. And in every tradition, we have a way of marrying. But this one, I pray we should look at them again.
The good thing about Ghana is that we have the laws. We have the legislations. Our challenge has been enforcement. And as we said, there are a number of reasons that are making us unable to enforce. Number one is culture and tradition. People still find it difficult to believe that the Constitution is supreme to culture, is supreme to our tradition. So they still want to hold on to their cultural ways or traditional ways of handling matters. And purely that is attributed to ignorance. Because if people are aware that whilst where cultural conflict with Constitution is the Constitution that rules, we are not saying traditions and customs are not part of the laws. They are common laws. They are part of the laws of Ghana. But where there's a conflict, then you have to throw them away. And issues like female genital mutilation, abduction, widowhood rights, all this is infringe the rights of the child. If you go to fundamental human rights, it says no, they should be abolished. So when it comes to this level, we need to work on. But we also have a problem with the institutions that are mandated to enforce these laws. A lot of those institutions are not very, very functional. And let me cite a typical example. The NCC that's supposed to do a lot of education is not properly resourced. There are some districts, they don't even have the offices. So who does the education on some of these issues of civil rights? Commission on Human Rights, that's supposed to also be resourced to champion issues around Article 5 of the Constitution, which is basically on human rights. they are not well resourced. So they cannot truly buy. Those which is also supposed to be protecting vulnerable and then working around domestic violence to ensure that the domestic violence law is very, very operational, is also having its own challenges.